Hi everyone, welcome to episode 19 of the Green Room podcast. Today I'm joined by Shane Deane, aka Shane Deane. He's been around the scene since 2003, according to a track that he recorded for my last album there, which is on Spotify for any of those who want to check it out. So why don't you fire away, give us a little background into your involvement in the hip hop scene and anything else you kind of want to plug or throw out there.
Um, well, I'm an MC. I'm a producer, events organizer. I wouldn't say I've been on the scene since 2003. Like, I think that was more. I've been writing lyrics and making
Yeah.
songs since then. Well, in Derry there wasn't really a scene back then. Well, there was one or two guys maybe floating around, but there was no actual scene. But in terms of contribution to the scene now, well, just the whole Northwest hip hop thing. Like, we were running regular events in Derry. Now most recently just been involved in the GAC label, well, the GAC umbrella, with the likes of Jay Sutton and Disgrace in that. But
Yeah.
just to summarise.
When did you join up with GAC?
Um, right, I think it was during lockdown. Um, during lockdown, and we released two tracks. I don't know if you've seen them, like, but
Of
Ropey
course,
and
yeah.
Have You Ever? See, to be honest, I can't even mind when I joined. Like, there was a few of the boys were on it already. It was already going, but like, I know Jay from years ago. Like, we were regularly gigging together, and that at the J Rules and our own Northwest hip hop nights.
Yeah.
But the DBMC's kind of stopped making music, so Jay's obviously ran and done his own thing. Um, so he had the likes of Corey Love and Don Chi and Waking Android and that, and then he asked myself and Amanda to jump in. We were like, of course. It was a bit of a no-brainer.
You do have a serious bolster of talent there on the label, and it's kind of similar to Bad Arts in the sense that we kind of roughly started out just before the lockdown, but we may as well have kind of really started to get things going during that time. Like,
Yeah.
sure, it saved a lot of us from going insane with the way things were going. Like,
Oh fuck, man! I haven't really got going since lockdown myself. No, our last night that I ran though in terms of Northwest hip hop was, I think it was November 2019. We brought Lethal Dialect up, um, but like it was March after that, no, where everything shut down.
yeah,
And I kept saying to myself, no, when it opens up, I'm going to start running nights again. But it's just, you need the music, no new music and a buzz to go along with running nights, and it's just trying to get it all together. And for that moment they strike, it's like you can't recreate what you had before. You have to just wait for something to happen again, basically.
yeah.
You know.
You don't want to force it either. Like,
No, definitely not. Because that's what we were keep saying. I was like, fuck, I need to get back out now. And I was like, but at the same time, when we first started running them gigs, like, and we got that buzz going, we didn't plan it. It just all kind of came to fruition itself.
yeah,
You know. So no, you're right. You can't force it.
yeah. Like, I mean, I've been
You're
running gigs.
doing well yourselves, but at the minute, Bad Arts, I see a lot of stuff happening yourselves.
Like, we started running gigs again in March, and like, while most of them have been very good, and we've had a few crappy ones here and there, but that's just natural. Like, still haven't recreated the kind of the heights that we were at uh before the lockdown and before Bad Arts. Like the gig that we did, the Breaking Down Borders one,
Oh,
in
man.
Limerick with the Costello and the Split Profits and up front fucking Lazy Eyes and the PX Crew and loads of different acts. Like, that was a fucking huge success. Like, and of course, yeah, it's harder to kind of recreate that when we're not necessarily, a collective of names as big as those, but
Yeah.
still, it's a bit disheartening sometimes when it's like, fuck, if we'd continued on that trajectory after that and then started Bad Arts, like, it would have been, fucking, we'd probably be getting festivals piss easy at this stage, but
Yeah.
again, yeah, like, we've done some really, really good gigs, and we've had the lucky opportunity to feature with Re-Raw at a gig and stuff like that. So I mean, it's primarily good results, but naturally I'm one of those people that just wants to keep on the up and up, and if something doesn't go so well, I'm like, I take it fucking to heart quite badly, like. But yeah, for now anyways, we're not going to be doing any more gigs for the rest of the year, but then for March onwards next year, we're trying to kind of form a small tour of the country. Like not every single county, but I've basically contacted venues in every single county, at least in the Republic for now. And then once that's
Mm.
kind of pushing on a bit, then we'll try out some places up north as well.
So I was just thinking to myself the other day, I was like, fuck, man, if we were still running gigs, I would definitely have brought these up to there, you know,
Yeah.
and done like a bad arts night, done their North 1 hour Northwest Hip Hop nights. It would have been good.
I've been
But
trying to get something going in the Fifth Element place,
mm,
because a lot of the venues I've contacted up there previously didn't really get back to us and just had a lot of time wasting shite relying on other people trying to sort gigs for us. So I'm sure Daz at some point will give us a hand and help us organize something for up there if we can't get any other place. But
yeah,
for now, yeah, it's kind of last on the agenda just because it's like it's the furthest place, Belfast especially, it's the furthest away from us. Costs
yeah,
us the most, and we'd have to get accommodation and all that crack. There's no driving up and down to Belfast in one day unless you're a lunatic.
it's fucking tough going, man. Definitely. But no, just come back to what you were saying there about continuing on the trajectory. I think that's maybe subconsciously why I haven't come back out again, because I'm afraid. No, like we had such a good run. No, if I come back out again, that doesn't work, or if I do something wrong or don't do it the right way or something, I'll be fucking ripping, like, you know. So
Starting again in some shape or form just kind of it does kind of suck, like you,
mm,
because I mean, I like not to say that I have a very fragile ego, but it can wreck my head sometimes when we get like we get a small crowd and there's so many people like, oh, well done, man, baby steps, because they're only jumping in now. It's like, oh man, I know, but like we had a few hundred people, no hassle at like several gigs in a row before this, like but they just weren't around, so they're not aware of that, like so it's I don't want to seem ungrateful in a sense, but like I know that in terms of the talent on the label and in terms of just what we can do, I know we can get better and we definitely deserve better as well in a lot of other cases.
hit or miss with hip hop in general, like, and then not only that, like it's niche within hip hop on top of that. You know, it can
That's
be
true, yeah.
difficult to get that kind of that run going, and it's just getting the eyes on you, really. You know.
High Focus is always the kind of label I wanted to emulate, like, where it's
Oh,
basically keeping it real. It's still underground, but they're all in a position where they're making a decent living off it. Like, they're not driving Ferraris, but if you can pay the rent, fill the fridge, and look after your family with money off music, you're fucking flying it. And that's the kind of the aim I'd have for myself and the rest of the lads. Like, anything else would be a fucking insane bonus. But like, that's the kind of style. I don't want to dilute the brand and just start making, fucking gentrified music and clean up the image and change the fucking raw kind of sound and vibe just to kind of get more followers and viewers and people coming to gigs and shit like that. It's like, oh, you can it's harder, but if you can keep it real or keep it the way you want it to keep it, it's just gonna fucking not be as easy to kind of climb the ladder, I guess.
yeah, exactly. But as you said, that's the dream, though, being able to pay the bills, making the music you want to make,
Yeah.
you know, without having to compromise. Like I did that once. I think was one of the songs was getting played on the radio, and they asked me to clean it up, so I didn't know the software, and I was trying to like reverse all the curse words and stuff, but it was
Yeah.
like heartbreaking, soul destroying. I was like, I'm never doing that again. No, just for like it wasn't even worth the exposure that I got. It was like, nah, fuck that. No
Yeah.
point.
No,
If you don't
I
want it for
fully
what
agree.
it is, if you don't want it for what it is, then just don't have it. Simple as that.
Yeah, just play at a fucking 9 o'clock, like realistically.
Aye,
Unless it's
exactly.
absolutely atrociously vile in terms of lyricism. But I don't expect anything like
Well,
that out of yourself or most rappers. You know what I
oh,
mean? I can understand in regards to some of the stuff I put out there. It's like, yeah, sure, even if that was cleaned up, you can't really put that in the radio. But I didn't get into this to be on the fucking radio. As much as I
no,
wouldn't mind it and I wouldn't mind being on TV, I don't give a shite about it either. Like, I mean, I'm not looking at RTE and being like, oh, fuck, I should be there. I wouldn't say no to
no,
it, but
no.
it's not at all my vibe. Like, I want to be an underground artist. That's where I
Yeah.
want to be at. It's what I like.
Alright. Well, I'm kind of at a point now where like I'm just happy, plodding along, making tunes, and getting playing at a couple of festivals and gigs, and like
Yeah.
that's the main thing for me. Like views and fucking having a big online presence that never really appealed to me. And I've tried a few times now to get something going, but it's just not my bag. Like I like being
Yeah.
out there, at the gigs, and I know you have to do the online thing these days for the gigs and that, but it's a bit of a double edged sword sometimes, I suppose.
It could be tiring, certainly. Like, because I mean, for myself, I have the Bad Arts accounts. I run all of those. I have my DJ Green account, and I also have Attention as well. So it's
Mm.
three different personas, which is three sets of every fucking social media account. For the most part, like I don't bother having like three Twitter accounts or anything like that. But that's sure I'm banned off Twitter as DJ Green anyway. So I'll
You're
just keep.
banned on Twitter.
I'm banned for life. It's actually fucking really stupid why I got banned.
It's
I'm
pissed off.
laughing at like the fact it's like when it was basically like a free for all. I had a look at like my old Facebook that I had as a teenager, and the shit that I was putting on that, man, was fucking ridiculous. It's like I my account would last 30 seconds now, but then I look at like I still get banned every couple of weeks or months, and it's always something so stupid. Like I've said I'm a wanker. I posted a status saying I'm a wanker, and I got banned for doing that. It's like surely I can fucking abuse myself, like.
Fuck's sake. I think with Facebook, particularly, I think you get a reputation. No, and then like you'd probably get banned because me and my friend were having this conversation. He's kind of like that. No, he'll post the most like crazy stuff online, but he always gets banned. But then me or one of the other fellas will be like post the same thing, but it's like you're on the radar or something
Yeah.
because you've been banned a few times. It's like
I'd
you're
say I
all.
was shadow banned at some stage during the lockdown and shit like that because naturally I didn't post a whole lot, but I wasn't very for a lot of the stuff that was going on, and naturally that stuff gets picked up upon. So I imagine I noticed I got a huge drop off in engagement with like a lot of my pages and stuff like that
Hmm.
because I was very critical of lockdowns, etc., etc. Um, and I do think that at some point that's definitely come into fruition because they don't want to ban you for life. They wanted to keep you going. Like so, unless you do something truly outrageous, like fucking record a video of you killing someone, like they're always going to unban you because naturally they want to keep you fucking engaged and stuck on the fucking site. You know what I mean? So I never
Exactly.
have any worries about that stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. But they will affect your reach and that. That's the other thing too. Trying to stay up on all the algorithms and that. When they post and how they post and all that. I used to be so up on that, but it's just things have gotten a bit more complicated recently, and it's hard to follow sometimes. And like one post, you'll post something and it'll get like 100 likes or whatever, 200, and then you'll post a similar thing shortly after. It's like 2 likes.
Yeah,
It's like you can't win.
it's hard to
You know.
keep up with and I mean the likes of say I mean, I think like in general, social media has just downgraded so much in terms of quality and reach and just general content. Like they're all just pushing advertisements and
And they're
the
fucking
utmost
like,
cancerous content gets pushed to the top of the algorithms
yeah.
too. It's just a nuisance. Like,
And you have these guys with all their fake followers and like their bots or whatever, or ones that go on and follow loads of people just to get follows, and then you've got people that they've built up over time an organic following. Like for instance, Northwest Hip Hop page on Facebook, I think is 300, maybe 300 likes. It was at one point, anyways. It could be more now, but like you're posting and it says 46 people reached. It's like
yeah,
what the fuck? What, no, why are they holding it back? No, I don't understand that because it's an organic build. I've never paid for followers or bots or any of that. There, Kieran.
same here, man. I have two and a half on 2,500 on the DJ Green one, and I've literally seen
Yeah.
at points where it's like fucking. It depends on the content too. If I share like a beat, let's say beat for sale, might get like two or three people engaging with it. And then if I share like a photo with whatever, a caption or something like that, I'll get like a fair amount more likes and views on it. So
That's the thing
I
too. They
wonder, like,
dampen it even more when you're actually selling something. They're damping it even more
yeah,
to
it's
try
like
and force
I'm
you to
not
even
selling
pay
pictures of
for it.
myself, you know.
Why? It's like
Well,
fuck's
if anyone
sake.
wants to buy any, by all means, I'll sell them to you. But
Yeah.
primarily, I prefer to be selling beats now.
You'll need another persona for your OnlyFans account.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something witty there, like
I'm sure it'll
DJ
come up with your own.
Green fucking hole or something.
DJ
Bad
Green
arts
Feet.
baddies.
DJ Green Feet. Just sell pictures of your feet. Quick.
Yeah. I was about to get into how that's a trend nowadays, but we won't bother getting into fucking feet pics.
No.
I've been told by some girls that they do that, like, and it was just the last people on earth I thought would be at that. I was like, really? It's like, yeah. I was like, why? It's like get like 20 quid for a picture of my feet, and I'm like, fucking man, I nearly do that. Like,
I know a girl. I know a girl sold her. or used fucking like gym or running shoes. Not even on OnlyFans, like just on like a marketplace on Facebook. And she was
Oh,
initially taking the cunt, like no somebody was no somebody had posted asking for them, and she went on and responded as a joke and ended up selling them for like 80 quid. It's like,
Jesus Christ. Like, I'm all
what
for
is
fucking men's rights, but lads, that stuff, like buying girls' knickers and fucking all this crack is just, come on, there has to be a woman out there for you. Honestly, like I'm just
well,
being nice to everyone there. Like there's a woman out there for you. And if you
mm,
stop buying fucking pictures of feet for Christ's sake.
oh fuck man, the world's going mad.
Do you have any music you're kind of working on at the moment, or any projects or anything kind of music related that's on the horizon?
Um, well, I've the got so like two projects that have been like really taking my sweet ass time. Like, I've like an EP sitting there, um, more or less ready to go actually. But just waiting on a few things from other MCs and that. And then I've like I had this kind of mixtape album kind of thing a few years back called Brood in the Hills.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like I didn't call it an album because it was like it wasn't intended to be an album. It was like just songs that I had made over a couple of years, and I didn't want to put them all out as singles because I hit scattered songs. I like them being part of a project, so I did that. But I'm kind of doing part two now, so I'm just kind of compiling the tracks together and checking the orders and stuff, and get some artwork done now and get a few
Yeah.
features back in it. You know, there's one song out already at Doom and Gloom I released there recently. That's out at the minute. But other than that, not much else. A few features here and there on your album that came out, obviously, and a wee track on Jason's album. And
Oh, yeah, I
just
like
one or two.
Jason, man. He's very good.
That album, man, like
Savage stuff, man.
the production, everything. It was like no. To me, that's what an album should be. It's like a whole journey, no, an experience,
Yeah.
and that he achieved that there. I was big respect to Jason for that project because that was amazing. So it
Yeah,
was.
it was a very complete project.
Mm.
And I was a pity because he has a few beats belong to me. I was hoping to hear them on it, but I didn't, unfortunately. But
Mm.
assuming I might hear some of them at some point. But Jason's very
I think he
underrated.
is working on some other stuff. Like I'd say they'll probably be on the next one. You
It better be, or I'd have to call up to him,
know.
kick down his door.
Jason and attention.
We did collaborate at one point, but the song is actually still on Spotify, but it was ages and ages ago, and like I just feel like my overall delivery and writing and lyricism is vastly improved. So it's not a whole very beloved song to me, but I mean outside of that, his verse is sick on it, and the beat is sick, and the fucking I have like snippets from that documentary of like in like the 70s or 80s where it's like the guard at Puccine Patrol like going through Connemara like fucking basically doing drug busts on Puccine stills and shit.
Mm.
And like that's fucking gas.
Yeah.
Recommend anyone to give that a watch if they want. Like it's fucking hilarious. Just shows how innocent Ireland was, at least in that part of the country at that time. Like
What's the name of it again? Sorry.
it's like if you just look up Garda Puccine Patrol on YouTube, you'll definitely find at least a few fucking compilation clips and stuff. Like it's I think it's hosted and produced by Americans. Like, cause the guy that's reporting it is a Yank.
Crazy.
The track then is called Colchi Ebonics. Released
But
probably.
no, you and Jason like these are different, but it's a similar kind of content.
Definitely, yeah.
Love to hear some stuff from yourself for sure.
Right now, I'm kind of just working on loads of tracks, slowly but
This
surely.
new
Without,
album's brilliant, by the way. I haven't
yeah,
had the full straight through. I've been kind of no darting back on and out, no, but it's fucking the top quality production, man. Overall, it's brilliant.
I was pretty happy with it. I kind of just wanted to get it finished with at that stage because it had been going on for so long. But yeah, I think it'll be a long time before I do another one of those because it's just a con having to chase so many people and like, it's fair enough if you weren't really kind of up for it in the first place, but considering how many people asked me to be on it or were like just constantly telling me like, oh, I'll have a track for you next week, track for you next month, it's just a bit of a nuisance. Like I feel like the lockdown has definitely made artists, especially who kind of want to focus more on themselves because of like the fact that like time is of the essence and they realize life is short and stuff like that. So I just feel like there was a bit of a less of a kind of drive to kind of do as many things as possible as opposed to just focusing on their own stuff, which is fair. I respect that. I'm kind of the same myself, but yeah, I just found it easier the last two I did to get people going and together for it and to finish their songs. Like both of the other two ones I did, I had finished in like fucking maybe 6 months, whereas this took like nearly 3 fucking years. And
Uh,
considering it took 3 years, I was like, it still could have been 25%, 30% better, in my opinion. But overall, I'm fucking happy with it. And I really appreciate everyone who did a track for it. So no disregard or hate toward any of those people. But just for me, I felt like it could have been a little bit better. So I'd say I might leave it off for a few years and kind of accumulate more kind of a bigger network with more artists from this country and around the world, even maybe just doing more of an international one at some stage if I climb the ladder a little bit more. But I'm going to probably
yeah,
focus on the attention stuff, I'd say, for now.
I get it though. No, the relying on so many other people. It's all well and good, like when you're in the middle of it all, but when you're done, and then you be like, right, if the thought of doing another one and having to go through all that again would definitely put you off. I think that's what I'm kind of going through at the minute too. Um, like up until lockdown, um, every project I've done has been to a big degree a collaborative project. No,
Yeah.
so I think I'm trying to learn how to just kind of do everything myself. No, creatively, like no, the production side of thing and the technical side of thing and the work and all that. That's fine, but like creatively, we know all our input. I think I'm kind of struggling with that. Not struggling with, taking my time with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just trying to find the right lane almost. It's like, which way do I want to go now? It's a bit difficult at the minute.
I get you. Yeah.
Mm.
So, what I was going to ask you is because it's not something I normally ask a lot of the other artists that I interview because it's kind of I guess, a generic question. But who would be some of your kind of favorite producers or rappers from up north as well as from around the rest of the country? Like, who would you really rate highly?
Um, well, the likes of GI, Costello, Lethal Dialect. No, I don't think you could be an MC in Ireland and not like those guys.
Of course, no, they're all fucking
You know,
unbelievable.
uh, like production wise, you've got the likes of Danny Droppet. I've always admired his beats.
Yeah,
He's got a very unique sound. Anybody that can capture like a unique sound that you don't hear from anywhere else, like I'll always admire that.
would he produce a
Colin,
lot of the DBMC shit?
I think he done pretty much all of it.
Fair enough. I wasn't aware of who actually was the producer with a lot of the stuff he had
I'd
cheese.
say they all had a bit of an input, like, but
Yeah.
he had the studio. It was all he had the studio, and I think one or two other guys from up that area may have dropped a few tracks in for some of the projects, but I wouldn't quote anybody because I'm not 100% sure. But Danny was the main man behind the boards, as they say.
I bought a lot of their stuff off Bandcamp there recently. I'd obviously heard loads before, but I decided to go through it because it was some stuff you couldn't find anywhere else, and I was fucking blown away by a lot of it. It's like really, really top tier stuff, very underrated. Like,
The Take Your Lickings album is fucking outstanding. Like their first EP was brilliant, but that Take Your Lickings album, that was because it's a big project. It's hard to do that many songs with that many MCs
oh yeah,
and
there's so
keep it
many people as
interesting
well.
as
Like,
well. Mm, you know. But like music wise, MC wise, no, I think my two favourite at the minute is probably Jay Sutton and Wake and Android. I'm not just saying that because I'm on the GAC label, but it's just their music that seems to help me the most at the minute. You know.
Jay is class. I think I have most of his albums on CD, and
Jay's one of them artists that makes me want to write better. Like he sent me a track here recently, and he's a verse on it already. I'm like, I keep rewriting my verse now. He's one of them type of MCs. Like,
he's a very good writer, a very good MC. Rate him very highly. Um, Probably, I mean, he'd nearly possibly be number two of my favorite MCs from up north. Willie G would be number one. I think Willie G is
ah,
a fucking
man,
absolute wizard, man. Like, genuinely top 10, if not closer to the top five in this fucking
what I
country.
used to say, man. He had the potential to like fucking. No, are they all us in the north? Like I know Willie years. Like I've been really good friends with him.
Yeah,
But I always said if he ever got it together, no, and really pushed for it, he could have actually, made it out of Ireland. He was that good. His delivery, his writing, fucking astounded everybody. You know.
What is it? I don't have a life. Catch me on a Saturday night having a wank in in my bedroom with a flutter of light. It's like fucking. I love that tune, man. It's like my life's as appealing as a fart's fragrance, or being dragged down an alley by an arse rapist, or being like I think being cornered in a pub by a tired racist. Like it's like fucking hell. Like really, really good, man. Fucking, he really utilizes his accent very well to be able to rhyme certain words. Because I was only talking
Yeah.
to Red Wolf last night. That episode's not quite out yet, but it will be soon. And he was saying the same thing where because he's American, he can say certain things a certain way that we can't, and we can say certain words and make them rhyme, you know. And fucking Willie G's great at that, like where it's just his strong northern accent,
Yeah.
and he utilizes it
Fair
really
enough.
well.
That's why I don't get why these rappers are still doing it in American accents and they're from Ireland, man. It's like that's the beauty of rap is the fact that we can use our own slang.
Yeah.
And Ireland is like the accent and slang changes from town to town.
Oh man, yeah. Fucking walk 5 minutes down the road and you've got a completely different fucking accent, like.
That's why aren't you utilizing that? All these MCs with their American accents. I mean, well, like I started off using a fake accent though, but I didn't know there was any other rappers in Ireland at the time. And
Yeah.
as soon as I heard someone rapping in a Derry accent, I scrapped it straight away, and I was like, no, this isn't right. You know?
Yeah, I kind of when I kind of got into actually rapping, the idea of an American accent was well past. I was in my early 20s at that stage, if not older. I think I was like 22, 23. So I wasn't going to jump out and start using a Yankee Doodle accent. Like,
No,
um,
not if you were hearing all their MCs around you rapping
no,
in their normal accent. Like,
I take pride, man, in the fucking whole Irish side of things. Like, we get to go down a particular route, like, and the words arse, shite, sham, cunt don't sound any better coming out of anyone else's fucking mouths besides
no,
ours, you know what I mean? Like, so fucking utilize that shit. Now they're bad examples now. There's plenty of other nice words that we can use, but I wouldn't be wanting to use any of them, so
no.
uh don't fucking emulate me, children.
Yeah. And then you've got the other flip side of that coin as well, where like you've got people in Ireland who hear an Irish rapper, haven't got a clue about hip hop, and then they'll say, "Oh, you're trying to act American, you're trying to act like this, or no, you shouldn't be rapping." It's like when you think about it, I always say, like storytelling, lyrics has been in Ireland for generations,
Yeah.
poets. Do you know what I mean? That like as Mos Def said, rap is modern day folklore. Ireland has just as much of a right to be doing hip hop music as any culture. To
Oh
be
yeah.
quite honest, it's on our DNA. You know, we're poets,
Yeah.
we're storytellers, we're musicians. We always have been.
When people come out with that shy, man, it's just embarrassing. Or I've even told like, oh, you think you're so hard. That's why you're a rapper. I've had people who've literally like never heard my music or listened to it, like describe it as like, oh yeah, I think you're a good producer and stuff like that, and maybe you're a good rapper. I'm just not into all that gangster shit. I'm like, show me one song where I've come out with anything that's in any way genuinely trying to come off as gangster. I might say some tongue-in-cheek shit like, "Oh, I'll shoot you in the face," but like you can tell by my fucking persona that I'm not legitimately trying to give off the idea that I actually do that, like, you know, and fucking smoke crack and all this crack. But I've had people like, you know, literally say that to me, like, and I was kind of like, what the fuck you on about? Like, it's like that's not the style of my music, or like most of people's music, at least that are, you know, highly respected MCs or rappers within the music scene in this country. Like, so it's like they fucking stick their fingers in their ears, but like, oh, you fools think you're gangsters. It's like not at all, man. If you actually listen and stop fucking your fucking bitch fit, like you might actually enjoy it. Like, but that's the thing. People like that, they don't want to enjoy it. Like, you know, um,
No, and they don't want to be wrong about it too, because when they do listen, and if they feel like they relate in some sort of way, they're not going to admit it. You know, and then you get the people that's like, "Oh, gives one of your wee rapidy raps,"
oh yeah, that's so fucking annoying. It's like, why
like
don't
when
you
you're on
listen
work
to
or
my
something.
music? Why don't you listen to my music instead of trying to grab me and try and tell me to freestyle in front of all your fucking normie friends when you're all drunk in the pub? It's like, why don't you fucking, you know, stop being a bitch. Go there. No one has to hear you. No one has to be around. No one has to catch you. You can fucking stick on Spotify, play a song, maybe play two songs, and then make your own decision.
I'm
There's
not a
nothing worse with
fucking
people that like,
performing monkey, like.
oh yeah, there's nothing worse than I've experienced with the people where it's like, you know, that's how they'd identify me to their friends, like people I don't know. It's like, oh, this is Connor. He's a fucking producer. He's a rapper. He's a gig manager or fucking whatever. Like it's like you've never been to a gig, you've never listened to a song, and you don't even know what my beats sound like. Do you know what I mean? And it's you can't give a good example of your shit with fucking five drinks in you in the middle of a loud pub, like trying to fucking freestyle for six people that listen to Drake. Like, do you know what I mean?
Aye.
They're never gonna have any fucking appreciation for that. So, if for people out there, if you struggle with the concept of how to support someone, that's not the way to do it. Go to a gig, fucking listen to a song, buy a t-shirt. Otherwise, fuck off.
Because when people's doing that, it's like an ego thing.
Yeah,
Oh, what do you see what this boy I know can do?
they're doing it because they want you to fail. Like they want you to make a fool of yourself. They're not doing it because they genuinely fucking um have faith in your skills. Like that's sadly the way a lot of Irish people are. Like it's like they only have interest in you, and this has been brought up like almost every episode I've recorded. The whole like way people will ask you how you're doing, but they're not asking you because they want to see if you're doing well. They're asking you. They try to minimize what you're at, and they try to kind of like exaggerate the negative side of things. And then once you tell them like, no, I'm actually doing pretty well, the conversation just fizzles out, and they've got no interest in it because they're outright they just wanted to fucking slag you off.
Yeah.
And my
I was
argument,
just literally talking about something similar to that with a friend today.
yeah,
It was like, but it was more like, so, like people, like some friends will be like, they nearly want you to be going through a hard time so they can act like they care.
yeah,
It's like, oh, keep your head up, no, keep it, no, giving all these motivational quotes and stuff. It's like, no, they nearly want you to be going through a hard time just so they can appear to, be inspiring or care about, you pulling yourself out of the shit or whatever.
yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
No, I've come across that stuff before. It's like, I guess like for me, it's like I might say like something that's like depressing or angry or whatever, but like I say that stuff just so passively. Like I might meet someone, then they like pull me aside, like, man, are you like, are you okay? Like you seem, it's like, what? Like it's like you said this earlier. I was like, no one else even batted an eye. Like they clearly don't give a shit about you. It's like, no, I say this kind of shit all the time. Like don't worry about it. Like it's not that deep. Like
Yeah.
like I don't need fucking the armchair psychiatrist this evening.
Definitely.
Who would be a couple more of your favorite even your favorite projects or songs in particular? Like, because I mean, not a lot of people actually are very particular about their kind of songs that really stick out for them in Irish hip hop. Like, would you have maybe three or four there that like they're blown away by?
Well, nothing comes particularly to mind, but like I wanted to mention earlier, like as a writer, Croak, Jason
Yeah,
Croak.
genius.
His writing is fucking unbelievable. The way he incorporates about like Irish mythology and all, and these lyrics is like unbelievable. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but he does it
His
amazingly.
flow is unmatched as well. There's no one that
Oh,
does the kind of Andre 3000 sort of offbeat kind of slightly thing, but it just doesn't, he nails it, like, it's
I've wanted
fuck,
a track with him for so long. Like obviously we got it on your album,
yeah.
and he killed it. An unbelievable writer. Um, like what tracks? Like Lethal Dialect's last album was really good.
Mm. One that is the song that his girlfriend did, like Lethal Dialect wrote it, but his girlfriend rapped it.
That was
The
brilliant.
one
Yeah.
where it's the woman fucking falling into heroin addiction, like Jesus Christ. Like I initially thought that she wrote it and rapped it, and so I messaged her on Instagram. I was like, seriously, like you're a fucking top MC. Is that your first track? And she's like, well, I just fucking performed it, but LD wrote it. I was like, oh, fair enough. He still did a fucking unbelievable job. Like, he could have easily done that himself, but naturally it sounded way more powerful when it was coming from a woman, and
Yeah.
she nailed the like vulnerability in it. It wasn't just Nicki Minaj getting up there trying to tell a sad story. Like she sounded fucking legitimately like in
Not
pain.
just that, but delivery and flow. Like
Yeah,
people don't realize it's difficult to do that if you're not an MC.
100%.
I mean, obviously we make it sound easy because that is the point. But like, if you ever see someone actually try to do it, it's difficult. I
Takes
think
time
we probably forget how difficult it is to someone who doesn't do it. But for her to do that there and deliver it the way it was done
on a
was
project that was
stunning.
so fucking, that was held in such high regard, but even
Yeah,
before it came out, because it was him making it like fair fucking play. Like, and it did end up being it still is my favorite song off it, ironically, even though it's the one that he doesn't actually perform on.
yeah.
It's the one that sticks out in the back of my head constantly. I have it on CD as well, actually. I bought it off him. I actually can see the poster here on the wall. GI Little Dialect on the Floor with the Bally Boys, July
Yeah.
15th in the Sound House, like
Oh fuck! You know what
2018.
track I'm really buzzing off at the minute, and I'm probably not even going to remember the name of it, but it's GI and Danny Rhymes.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Man, what's the name? It'll come back to me like,
A
but it's
newest
kind of
track
like
or an old one?
it's on one of GI's albums, like, so it will be an older one.
French Connection, I think it is.
Let me get the name, mate.
I know he did a few features on that, I think. That French
Danny
Connection.
Rhymes on that there was fucking
Unbelievable.
outstanding, man. His flow, like, I think he did the hook.
Yeah.
Um, but it's kind of like the rhythm of the beat and all. I think it's a kind of J Dilla sort of feel to it, no.
GI is the best producer in the country for me. Like there is a couple more that are fucking sick, like Tony Mahoney and the likes of them, but fucking GI.
Even just for the dusty boom bap sound, like,
Oh,
he's got it completely nailed.
he's got that murky. He's got his own sound though as well. Like this kind of just this murky, dark
Relax,
fucking
called
sound.
Relax.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that
can't think of
song
that off
is
the top of my head.
outstanding. But
His beats though, man, fucking hell, like they're
ah,
genuinely lethal beats.
yeah,
Like
unbelievable. He's had some like big names over in UK and that, well, big in terms of underground.
Tesla's Ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's fucking lethal, man. He released like a fucking 50, 60 track album there not so long ago. I haven't actually got to listen to it yet, but he's very good. And GI and Tony Mahoney have a couple of beats on it. I think maybe
mm,
one other Irish producer as well. A couple of them on it, but fucking sick stuff.
mm. But yeah, Arcane Soaps too. Love his writing. He's
He sticks
fucking
out, like he's got his own kind of individual sound there. Like again, I've said it to him before. He was the guy that did the first episode of the podcast with and yeah, he's got like a very unique sound, and I rate him very highly. Like
I always appreciate that when someone comes out with a unique sound and they're not just, trying to jump onto the trend or the narrative that's going on.
yeah,
It's very easy to jump onto a drill beat now and or fucking trap, like,
oh it is, yeah.
very easy. But
You don't even have to be good anymore.
Hey,
You don't even have to be fucking good anymore. As long as it's a fucking drill beat with
yeah.
a really recognizable sample, then you're fucking flying it, man. Just mention how you stabbed four people in the face and whoosh, you're fucking flying it, man.
I said when it first came, it's just a trend, like, but I think it's just I don't know. It doesn't seem to be going away quick as I'd like it to go away, So,
Yeah, I don't like realistically. I'd be very surprised if they're still talking about any of those songs, because like think about like the last decade of music, say 12 years or so, like none of those songs that were so fucking over the top and in the charts, they're not talked about anymore. Like they're not brought up again. I think that's going to be the case with a lot of music nowadays. Like, the scene's a lot more recyclable now across the board,
yeah.
from the Irish hip hop scene to up fucking the very top of things with the likes of Beyonce
It's
and Lady
because
Gaga.
songs are made so quickly these days as
Yeah,
well. Do you know what I mean? Like, what was my last album, Sustenance? I think took well over a year to make,
yeah,
and I don't even make the beats on that. All the beats were pretty much made by Cronus from Waking Android.
yeah.
But like, putting a project together, people are churning out fucking albums every couple of months now. It's like, what the fuck? And then what? And then there's no longevity. No, they're gone. They're gone in a couple of years' time because there was no blood, sweat, and tears went into the actual art behind it. There's no substance there. But it's all playlist music.
Quantity over quality now.
2 minute songs as well. Everyone's two minutes, 2.5 minutes nowadays. There's no 3-4 minute songs anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. Like a lot of these like say they like big rappers like Nas. He's like jumped out of the game for a while and then came back, and like Nasir came out, and then like I checked his discography. He's had like 4 or 5 albums since then. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's just filled to the brim with features and fucking filled to the brim with tracks. Like Eminem as well is another one. Like obviously, yeah, he hasn't been the same as he was fucking in a long time, but like it's like 20 tracks and fucking 18 features on these fucking things. Like, and just
Yeah.
It's it's ridiculous. Like, if you want to make a fucking 25 track album, make fucking 25 proper tracks. It just
Aye.
sounds like they're releasing everything they fucking put out now, because I think you're just guaranteed money with fucking Spotify.
Yeah.
Like, I was listening to Metallica there recently, and I was looking at the fucking state of their albums on fucking Spotify. Like, it's got like every demo track, every live version, like some of them with like 70 or 80 tracks. It's like, man, I just want to listen to fucking Master of Puppets. Like, I don't need 17 different versions on it. It's because, you know,
Live versions, acoustic versions, and fuck.
I get that. Like, I'm fine with that. I welcome that. But like, this was literally like, it's like, this is an 8 track album, but there's fucking 70 tracks here. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, it was literally like, what the fuck is this shite? You can tell Lars Ulrich is definitely behind all that crap because he's such a fucking money grabber. But do you know what I mean? It's just like, you don't need to put, like, I know that myself, that I don't need to release everything. If I had such a fucking renowned name as Metallica, I certainly wouldn't be shoving every last Tom, Dick, and Harry track I have out on fucking Spotify. Like, just clogs the place up. Like,
Exactly. Oh, it saturates it. So it does.
so, do you have any plans, I guess, outside of the kind of generic stuff musically, kind of coming up, like besides obviously the videos and tracks and gig side of things? Like, do you have any kind of things set in stone that you want to put together?
Well, like, we didn't really uh, publicly announce this. We posted a few things about it, before lockdown. Like, we had done like a youth project
Yeah,
where we were like, we had we were brought on, to teach vulnerable young people. Sorry, my mind's going fucking blank here. Uh, Vulnerable young people, teach them how to express themselves through rap and writing, creative writing, rap particularly. Obviously, it was based around hip hop
yeah,
and making beats and that. Obviously that went to shit because of lockdown. But we had like a select group. It was vulnerable kids, dealing with grief, about a family member or a friend committed suicide or something like that. So
yeah,
we were like brought on. They help them express themselves through rap, so that they would talk about things that they wouldn't on a professional setting with a counsellor. And it was quite a success. Like, we never got it like an end product in terms of a song, but we got them like, writing raps, whereas they weren't even on there beforehand,
yeah.
and they were talking about stuff that they wouldn't normally talk about. So, but as I say, that went to shit over lockdown. But we've been talking now, uh, recently, that we're going to try and get something going again now in the new year. But we're going to try and get a bit more independent with it, because we were kind of in along with an organised, so we were under an organisation.
Yeah.
We want to be like totally independent with it. Have a pop-up studio, like
Mm.
a laptop and set of small monitor stuff, like a studio you can throw in a rucksack basically, or on the back backyard if you need more equipment and that. And just go and set up one-stop shops. Not so limited. No, anybody can come in. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, that's outside of the music side of things. That's what I'll be going for next.
Big respect for that, man. Yeah, I have much respect for people who do stuff like that for people. I can't say I've done a lot of that myself, but I do want to someday, some way down the line. Just still trying to kind of get my life together and be
Yeah,
able to kind of relax in terms of like finances and all that sort of stuff before I kind of
that's
go
what
ahead
we
and do
always
that. But
say. You can't help other people unless you can help yourself. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
so
But
I'm
yeah,
learning
it's
so much.
definitely something. It's definitely something worth doing, and there's money in it as well. Not that you do it for the money, but
Oh,
like.
money, you say? I love money.
No, we just do it for the love, man. We don't want the money.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Yeah, I love them. I love fucking helping people. But no, no, of course, yeah. But that's the thing. It's just for me. It's like I have so much on my plate now. I kind of need stuff to be like beneficial in terms of whether it's um getting my name out there or getting a few dollars in.
Yeah.
It's a necessity right now. So until I'm kind of more secure and a little bit older, I guess, and more mature, I'd wait.
Those merch is probably where the money's at nowadays.
Yeah, we make a decent bit off it every so often. Like,
People love unique T-shirts and stuff. Like, people love that shit. That's where, especially if you're out gigging around, man. It's good to have a wee stand set up and sell on a couple of T-shirts. And you probably make more money off that than you would off tickets sometimes.
yeah, yeah. See, I joined up at a site called Teespring, and basically they cover the production, the design, and the postage, and then we can like add whatever money we want onto it to make a profit. So say if I sell a hoodie for 50 euro, I probably make like 12 quid off it, and then they get the rest. Which is fair enough, I guess. Like, and I've gotten a good few pieces, and a few other people have too, and they've all been very good quality. So I think it's a fair enough deal. Um, as opposed to kind of having to put together a few hundred quid, buy a load of merch, and then sell it off. Like, it's kind of handier this way. We don't need to kind of necessarily have money to put it together. It's just there, you know.
Exactly. It's
So,
good to do that starting off. That's something I always wanted to do, and that was always the plan. Use one of them services like Teespring, make the money, make a bit of money first, and then maybe buy my own like t-shirt press.
yeah.
Along those lines, and then all you're doing then you're just buying what the fronts and the fucking t-shirts, like you just churn them out as much as you want.
Yeah, I'd kind of prefer it if I was to do it myself or have it done like in Ireland. I'd prefer to do it myself because having dealt with 3 separate entities for merch now in the last year or two, they were all fucking arseholes and all tried to fuck me over. So
Delays and stuff too with deliveries, I would say.
oh yeah. So I won't be doing that again anytime soon unless I come across someone that I can really fucking hover over and pay attention to what they're doing. They can't try and fuck me out of money or any bullshit like that. But yeah. It's fucking, the Teespring sites are very handy like that, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to test run stuff too, like you can just make something that might end up being shite and just, well, it didn't sell, but fucking sure what, I can just delete it now. I didn't have to fucking invest money into it, like.
Yeah. Costello's got the merch thing.
Oh man.
He's like turned his fucking gaff onto a fucking clothes shop, like.
Fair fucking play to him, man. It's like I've been recognized in several counties now. Because of the merch, like it's like, oh, Smokers Island, oh yeah, that's Costello stuff, do you know him? I'm like, oh yeah, I do know him. He's fucking top man. So fair fucking play to him, and it's really good quality. Like when I say our stuff's good quality, it's standard good quality. You know, it won't go to shit in the wash, but like in terms of like, you know, overall, like, you know, you wouldn't pay 100 quid for this stuff. Like his stuff is worth the fucking money. Like it's genuinely top shit. Like I've worn all the pieces I've got off him like fucking every second day for the last 2-3 years, and like they're all still in great condition. Haven't gone through the wash every single week. Like so.
You build up to that with a merch crack, like you build up to it. You churn out, you churn it out, make the money, and then you up the quality. No, that was always the plan. Like, but it's just getting it started too, you know.
Yeah, it's like naturally, yeah, the kind of climbing the ladder and trying to make things better as you progress along, and up the quality is the main goal. But right now it's kind of like we're trying to, I guess, focus the Bad Arts funds on looking after venues and stuff like that and traveling around whilst we set up this tour, and then we'll probably have a merch table at some point. But right now it's just not
starting the tour.
It's planned for March onwards because I'm going away to Canada in February for a while, and then late March we only have one gig and venue set in stone right now, and that's Crack Jenny's in County Cork on March 25th. Other than that, still waiting back to kind of really kind of set things in motion. But it's gonna be cuntish, man. Like I fucking contacted about 70 fucking venues and maybe fucking less than a quarter got back to me. Like,
we'll talk off podcast, like, but maybe we can get something arranged.
Yeah,
for Derry,
definitely, man. I'd be well up for that.
Like if you're talking after March, I'd be happy enough. I think I'm going to try and start doing something around that time, anyways.
Yeah, sure, man. Definitely, and I could definitely try.
I do want to start doing the live nights again. I mean, I know it's about like we always say, it's a thankless job being a promoter, no, but the crack's fucking night day. You know, that defeats any kind of downside day running nights is the crack.
Oh, the 2 gigs I did up north, the one in Donegal and the one in Belfast, were still 2 of the best gigs I've ever done. Like fucking great crack. Like I was absolutely.
You haven't been to Derry yet, have you? Like for a night?
I don't
think you would. No, not that.
It was the Hudson Bar I was in, so that's
that's Belfast, yeah.
Yeah, that was Belfast. Yeah, no, I've only passed through. I passed through Derry when I was going from Donegal to Belfast. Yeah, no, I got fucking mixed up. I know it's Down and fucking Antrim is Belfast. Like for some reason I was fucking thinking Derry as well. But yeah, no, I haven't done a gig in Derry, so I'd be happy to knock another one off the list.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, sure.
Derry/London Derry. Sure, I seen actually, man, there was a bullet hole fucking, or at least a hole in the London part on one of the signs when we were coming through Donegal towards Derry. It was like London Derry. It was like it appeared to be a bullet hole. We were just like, oh, class. 'Cause that was my first time up in the north. Do you know what I mean? So me and the lads were all like, "Fucking, oh, this is gas!" Like,
Aye.
this is something we've been hearing about for years. And naturally down south with all the troubles and stuff like that. But we didn't have any trouble at all up there. It was great crack. People were fucking sound
Aye.
out. Like, I wasn't expecting to get fucking, the UVF to kick in the door and shoot me, like, but I was kind of
Oh,
hoping I actually filled one of the lad's girlfriend's heads filled with shite. Like, I told her that I was bringing a gun, like, and all this shit in the car just in case, like, and she was fucking shitting herself. And then apparently when they drove into Belfast, they drove down into a fucking like Protestant area, and there was Union Jacks everywhere, and like she started crying, and I was just like, that's fucking brilliant, like, just because I was basically like teasing a child, like, oh, the fucking
aye.
UDA are gonna get you. They're gonna
You
think you're in
expect
the
they see
rat.
masked men roaming the streets and brat tanks and fucking.
Oh,
Fuck's sake, man. No, it's like fucking. That's a whole different world up there now.
yeah.
Music scene in there is quite good. So it's been a bit stagnant. No, this since lockdown, obviously, but
Who else is from Derry besides yourself? Because obviously I know loads of northern rappers, but I'm not fully sure half the time where they're actually originally from. Like,
well, like Derry in terms of MCs, they're myself. Well, I'm not. I'm from Derry. Like I grew up in Derry, but I live in Donegal now. Like, so I'm not really on
oh yeah,
Derry scene anymore. However, that's where we were still running our gigs. But and then you could BMC, functional BMC. It's Brenton. He was Northwest Hip Hop with me and Amanda. And then you've got Hyphens Derry as well. He was sort of Northwest Hip Hop at the beginning and all, but he's obviously went off in his own way.
yeah.
Um, kind of before us, you would have had the likes of Wildman, if you remember him.
Don't think I know him. No.
I'll send you like this stuff. It's good stuff. Danny Diatribe, I know he's in Manchester now, but he's from Derry.
Yeah, I did a gig with him before he's sick.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get fucking a message saying you fucking forgot me. But no, and then Derry, Derry never really had a big scene until we kind of started Northwest Hip Hop. There's a
Yeah.
lot of kind of up and coming rappers. You've like Lee OC. Scomo he's Straban, but he would have come up to the gigs quite a bit. No one done the open mics.
Yeah,
Wally
that's
G
no way.
was the Derry scene. I mean, he loves him off, but he's right on the fucking border, like, so he has Derry scene.
Mm.
And then a wee bit further, you get Straban, which is kind of right beside there. You get the likes of Jared too, and that, if you remember him. Jared too. Mr. Moles, I see that. There's a few names I like.
Yeah, I don't think I know him either. What era is he from? He might be a little bit before my generation.
Kind of like, so if I was to say Wildman was kind of 2008 to 2010.
Yeah, that's a bit
We
before me.
were
Like,
2014 onwards, I would say. No, in
Yeah.
terms of out doing gigs and putting music out properly.
that's when I came.
Right.
Like, I would have been
Jared too was kind of between that. No, and then kind of he kind of filtered off. Then they stopped putting stuff like around 2015, 16, maybe a wee bit later. I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
he was
2008. I was still
like-
listening to Slipknot. I wasn't even thinking about being a rapper, so I wasn't fucking aware of anyone really that was around at that time.
like when I started rapping, man, up there was nothing going on. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like I just wanted to be a rapper based off listening to fucking like Eminem and Tupac.
Naturally, yeah.
I thought I was the only rapper in Ireland. Like that's how fucking gullible I was until I heard Wildman was the first MC I heard, and then I started researching like Irish hip hop, and the whole world opened up. Then
Yeah, that's kind of what I did as well when I first started actually listening to Irish hip hop. Just looked up a few rappers and came across the Working Class Records lads, Scary Era, John Sue, Trigger, and then just fucking expanded from there. But they were all the main ones I first came across because I kind of wanted to look up the regional areas too. It was like, is there fucking rap in Cork? Is there rap in Belfast? What the fuck does this rap sound like? And yeah, sure enough, I found loads of shit.
that's what I'm saying. Like how these that was such a buzz. No, what does Galway rap sound like? What does fucking Leitrim rap sound like? If there is any.
Yeah.
And these boys, like, all they do is this American stuff and this cookie cutter fucking UK drill stuff. It's like you're missing out on a whole kind of buzz that pisses me off a wee bit.
They really fucked the, like, I mean, in the end, the two scenes are separated, and they're two different things. But I do think the fucking drill shite casts a fucking shadow over it. You know?
It does because it gets like because it's got that shock factor because it's all gang and violence and all. It's got that, so people are going to watch it for the shock factor.
Yeah.
But then that gets labeled Irish hip hop, and like you said, it overshadows everything.
If that's your gateway to Irish hip hop as well, it's probably going to turn more people away. Like the people that are going through that gate are people that are not going to appreciate our stuff, and then the people that might appreciate our stuff are being turned away because they're fucking seeing drill at the forefront. They're like, oh fuck this shit.
They cast you with it, they tore you with the same fella in basically.
Yeah. So yeah, it is fucking annoying. Like they've kind of really fucked up a lot of progress that people have made, and sent things back ways, kind of like, and just kind of really liquefied the scene.
Yeah.
But sure, onwards and upwards, you know. They're not going to be around in 10 years, I hope.
Fingers crossed. Fuck shit. No, it's about longevity. The music. Making music that lasts, like that's what I always say. If you're making a song, ask yourself, is this still really sound good in 5 years? 10
Yeah.
years? And every time we record a verse now, it's like we have a new phrase, and it's like, is it good or is it great? It's not great. Do it again. Do it again. Make sure it's great.
Yeah, I find I've gotten way, way pickier as time goes on. Whereas at the beginning, I was like, first take, I was like, if I fucking rapped it correctly for the most part, yeah, it's done, you know. Nowadays, like, I'm fucking recording a song a couple of times and mixing it fucking a few times and fucking all that shit, you know. So it's definitely better to be like that, but not to be overly critical, but
Yeah.
don't be
There's
afraid.
a flip side to that too, which pisses me off sometimes because like I'll go and lay a rough down. I'll be like, right, I'll love with this for a while, and then there's sometimes I'll delete it and be like, right, I'm gonna do it for real now. But the fucking rough was better than
Yeah.
what I done set, and I never got that back again. You know?
Yeah, and it can almost turn you off re-recording the song altogether then.
Oh, fuck that. I can't stand that. Redoing. Puts me off like that. What? That's what I wanted to ask you too. Just pop back in my head. What software do you use?
I use FL Studio
Just-
primarily. I learned how to use Logic and Ableton in college, and then just got a free version of FL maybe 7 or 8 years ago. I've just stuck with it since.
Yeah.
It's the bomb.
Bit of a heartbreaking moment today. Like, loaded up there. I was going to make some beats earlier. I have like a MIDI keyboard there. It's just a 25 keyway, like 4 pads. Fucking USB was like no wonky, and it wouldn't stay on. So every time I had a pad, it was like turning off.
Fuck.
Pad
Is
is
the
fucking
cable or the
weird.
port?
It's the port, and I'm thinking
course.
because of the cold weather and the studio's in a new room. I'm thinking maybe about a moisture got on and separated. I'm not sure what happened with it, but it's broken anyway, so I'm fucking devastated. I need to try and find someone to fix it for me.
Fuck.
Frustrating.
I'm pretty lucky on the PC that my mate put together for me. He put like fucking 12 USB ports on the whole thing. So I'm fucking like, if one breaks, and like maybe I said it to him. I can't remember. I think he might have mentioned it. He was like, what's the story with USB ports? Like, you want a few? I was like, man, stick as many as you fucking can, because
Yeah.
on my
Did you get
laptop,
one built? Like, did you get it like a PC built up?
Yeah.
Like
he basically just recommended all the parts I should get. I bought the parts, gave them to him, and then he built it up for me. And it was fucking well worth it, man. Like, I can play fucking any game I want on ultra settings, fucking produce, render, fucking stuff. Whereas my laptop is a great laptop, but like, I can't keep it on my lap now because of what the shit I was putting it through. It gets so hot, like, you know, I was rendering fucking 10 gigabyte videos on that and fucking playing. I wasn't quite playing Red Dead or Witcher 3 on Ultra, but I was playing fucking, you know, say Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, that's not built for a laptop at all, you know? And it just slowly killed it.
pushing it way beyond what I can handle, basically.
It got to the point where like I couldn't load up a game from like 1998, or just crash instantly. So since then, my laptop's just basically become I just bring it to gigs. I don't use it anyway anymore. Really, it's great. It's got a lot of fucking longevity now. Thankfully, about the fucking computer. Oh, it's fucking the best thing I ever bought. Like, I only spent maybe 650, maybe 700. I paid him like 50, 60 quid, and then just bought the rest of the parts, and fucking it was well worth it. Like,
Yeah.
so before we close out the episode, is there anything else you might want to plug or promote?
Just everybody, go and check out the Gak label. Loads of good music on there. Yeah, pretty much it. Check out Gak.
Sweet, that's fair enough. Short and sweet. Sure, fucking sound Shane for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I'll
No
definitely
worries,
have
man.
you on at some point. And of course, you may see myself and Shane at a gig at some point. If you do, don't hesitate to ask us for an autograph. And be sure to pay whatever fee we ask
Don't
of you to
fucking get
our
one
gig.
though.
Huh?
They won't fucking get one though.
I'll
I'll do it for an
sign I'll
autograph.
sign your tits. No matter what, if you're a man or a woman, I'll sign your tits.
Aye.
But that's it. All right, Sam, and look, I'll chat to you soon and I'll have the episode out in a couple of days.
Aye. No worries, man.
Sweet.
Cheers.